Hi folks, welcome to the preparedhomestead.com. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. Man, it's an early morning, and it looks like we're gonna have some really thick fog. The weather's warmed up. Is in the low 40s last night overnight. Rained all night, most of yesterday, so it's very wet out. But looks like the ice is finally washed away from us, because it was kind of lingering and everything, but I guess the rain is doing that. Just some strange weather. We went from super frigid cold to some ice, and now just rain and super foggy. But anyways, busy day, more stuff going on at the fire station, the firehouse that we're rebuilding or restoring. If you're interested in knowing about that and you missed the video from a couple of days ago, go watch the 30-minute long video I put out on the new exciting news video. And if you're interested in helping us raise funds to restore this fire station, there'll be a link in the description below for that. Yesterday we did some training, and this is before you get bored with this video, this is not what I'm mainly going to talk about. I just want to tell this story. Some of you don't care what goes on in like the personal world of myself and what we're doing, but some of you do, and this one's interesting. Yesterday we did an all-day training with our emergency response team, and it may have been the craziest, most stressful, I don't even know, day. It was nuts. It was almost like there was someone or something not wanting us to do it. It started off I've been assisting in some of this training, depending on what it is. Some of it I lead it, some of it I assist. We have a trainer on staff, and he couldn't be there start the day off because of the weather. He couldn't get out of his house, so he said, hey, calls me and said, can you take lead for this training this morning? I said, sure, no problem. A lot of it was a classroom training for the most part, a little hands-on, but mostly classroom. And so we was using a lot of computer, some video and stuff like that, teaching materials. And I get there early yesterday morning. That's why I didn't get a video out, get everything set up. It's all going smooth. I was prepared. I was a little proud of myself, because man, I got it all together and got it going. And my computer just died. Now remember, I've been telling you I've had a few problems here lately with my desktop computer, and that's what I run the live streams off of. It works better with it. It's a very nice computer. I bought it a year ago, nicest computer I've ever owned. And that's where I run everything, our homeschooling stuff, our, this channel, the local group, creating, materials and stuff. It won't even turn on. I'm assuming it's the power supply. Like, it's just like it's unplugged. So I took it apart, was trying to see if there was a short or something, a wire loose inside, and couldn't figure anything out. So, okay, that one doesn't work. Well, one of the guys that was helping, he brought his laptop, hooked his laptop up. It had a virus, couldn't work. Okay, so he said, well, I'll go home and get my other laptop. He goes to get his other laptop, couldn't find the cord for it. So that didn't work. So I thought, well, at least I can pull this stuff up on my phone. I may not be able to show it on the screen, but I can at least, have it on my phone. That didn't work. Couldn't get it to function. So I said, well, you know what? I'll run home, and we have a laptop at the house. So I go get that. That laptop works fine, except I couldn't get the laptop to run the PowerPoint. For some reason, I don't know what was going on. I couldn't figure out. It was some kind of weird software or something. It was just one, and there was a couple other little weird problems. Anyways, we finally got it working. It was crazy. It was just one thing after another of all this technological mishaps, but we got it going. We had a really good day, got some excellent training in, but it was stressful. You've got a class of people there that you're trying to teach, and you can't get any of this. But hey, as a prepper afterwards, I said, okay, we got to fix this. We got to have a contingency plan, because this one was not working. But it was fun anyways. We got to talk and learn eventually, and so good gracious. Another big day. We're going to head over to the firehouse here in a little bit. A few of us guys are trying to figure out some some things with the restoration of this old fire station, and we'll be doing that later. I do want to talk about news stuff. I don't know if you saw this, but of course things are getting big. I know the big news dominating right now is that Donald Trump won a landslide at the New Hampshire primary. Not really that big of a surprise. As much as that excites people, for me personally, and maybe I'm just too pessimistic, when I see the big numbers where he's winning by landslides in primaries, to me that just indicates that they're probably going to do even more to stop this. But anyways, what I wanted to get to, one of the top-ranking military leaders in the United Kingdom has announced that not so much that they're mobilizing their citizens for the military, but he said that when they mobilize their people, when they start a mobilization for a big war, World War III, that the British people should support this. Now, Germany said something very, very similar to this a week ago. The top general in the Netherlands have said something like that. I just showed you a few days ago, the top admiral for NATO was warning NATO people that they need to start prepping up, getting water, batteries, radios, flashlights, more, all that kind of stuff. There is a lot right now of talk, about this. And I know some of you might say, yeah, that's great and all, but that's not the United States. All that is NATO, and they're talking about Russia and NATO. Right, but we're part of NATO, folks. We're part of NATO. And not only are we part of NATO, we're the biggest part of NATO. I mean, we're like, I don't know, 70% of NATO maybe. I don't know the exact numbers, but it's a lot. So if NATO gets involved in a massive war with Russia and China and Iran and everything, we're right in the middle of it, okay? And of course, I think it's becoming a little bit more understood that this time around, this type of war, the United States could be a direct target. Not like past wars where, the casualties that we endured was our boys, our men and boys going off to war and fighting, and some of them perishing, which is tragic and horrible. But here on the homeland, we really didn't feel much of anything direct. That may be different. We've got millions and millions coming across the border. I don't know if you saw that video the other day. It was I believe Iranian, he's a Middle Eastern guy that had crossed the border illegally, and there was a video taken of him, and the guy got very very angry with the person taking the video, and he said, "You just wait, you'll see who I am. You'll find out who I am soon enough." Is that a threat? Who knows? There's other videos of these illegals coming across the border, and they don't act like they're very appreciative of being here. So you take that in consideration. You look at the economic thing. There's a lot more businesses recently announcing that they're having layoffs. So there's an more indication of a slowdown in the economy. The U.S. dollar is little by little losing its dominance. There's just more and more escalation in the Middle East between us and Yemen. We struck some targets in Iraq. That's about ready to explode. The United States and Britain has announced that they're going to basically go full scale on with Yemen. And I'd say when that happens, we're going to really start seeing things move. I mean, I could be wrong. The point to all of this is that I would say, and I'm not the great military tactician and everything, but I'm smart enough to, observe things and figure them out fairly decently. Unless something major happens in a good way, I think we are at the kind of that precipice of a major global war. I'd say most of us understand that, and most of you, including myself, would say we've already been there for a while. But I'm speaking of it actually going from cold and skirmishes and stuff to full-scale hot kinetic war. And I mean, that's something we need to get ready for. We need to not and this is something that we're doing. I mean, I know some of you are tired of this already. Well, if you're tired already, I don't know what to tell you, because you're going to hear more of it. Our strategy here, my strategy, and the strategy with our prepper community here physically, locally, is not only to do things to bolster our own personal preparedness and our own personal self-sufficiency, and use that prepper group to increase each other's individually. It's to also help the community around us do the same thing. And if we can build a alternative system, a network of people that can volunteer, people that can help, people that'll be there for each other, and of course not everyone's going to play along, but a lot will. There's a lot of good people everywhere. Then it makes us more self-sufficient. It makes us stronger as a local area, and less likely for things to fall apart, or at least fall apart really badly. You know, you're probably not going to see, you know, Portland, Oregon fall apart, kind of, you know, that kind of falling apart out here where I live, because people will pull together. And most people, most good people, they just need that leadership, or they need that motivation. They need to see that something good is happening, that it's worth putting their effort, that it's worth investing their time and themselves into. That's very true a lot of times. You know, you look at churches and nonprofits and things, ones that are showing that they're doing things, that they're moving forward, that they're alive, then people want to be part of that. If they're just kind of dead, you know, kind of stagnant and everything, it's not motivating enough for people to do anything. And so that's what we're trying to do in our area, and I am trying to encourage that in your area. Even if you just start off with you, maybe one other person, everything that we're doing here, that's how it started about 4 years ago. About this time, about 4 years ago, it was my family and another family just meeting and talking, and now it's exploded to, you know, well over, you know, 200 some odd people a month meeting, and various activities, work days, helping people, all kinds of stuff. You know, we just sent a work team a few days ago to a gentleman's house, a retired vet that we've heard that he'd fallen and injured his legs and needed a ramp built, because he was going to at least temporarily be using a wheelchair until he got surgery and healed up. So we sent guys out there, took care of it. That kind of stuff, it shows life and value in the community. And when people see that, they see that value there, then they're going to put more effort into protecting that value. And so it's not just about your preparedness or your family's preparedness, or even your little prepper group mag preparedness. It's helping others, and it's building a network of people that are willing to secure their community, and to give to their community, and to make it a valuable community, so that when things do fall apart, and they're going to, okay, but when they fall apart, the people that haven't been involved, they see that, wow, you know, we don't want this to completely fall apart. We don't want everything to just crumble around us. There's value here. We got something good here. It's a good community. So let's also invest into protecting this and to keeping it strong. Sure, there's going to be the bad people. Bad people exist everywhere. Every corner of the planet's got bad people. There's also a lot of good people, and so we need to give them the reason, the motivation to get involved. So that's kind of what we do. Back to the whole war thing. I think it's happening. I think it's just a matter of time to that one thing happens, that one thing that kicks it off, to where it goes from, you know, skirmishes and stuff, battles here and there, to just full-on scale. And we have to get ready for that. And that's one of the things I push all the time. Many others do also, because it's going to get bad. It's going to get crazy, and you're going to want to be able to fall back. And even though it may not be a complete total collapse of everything for very, very long periods of time, there could be small things happening throughout that time period where things don't work, systems fail. They get overwhelmed, you know, the supply chain may be overwhelmed. There are all these kind of things, and so there could be a series of or periods of disruption to our lives. And so we have to be prepared for that, and getting and becoming more self-sufficient, becoming less reliant upon the system, governments and supply chains and utilities and all that kind of stuff. You know, even if it's a temporary thing. I mean, it's good to prep for permanent collapse because then you're kind of more ultimately prepared. But at the very least, have contingencies in place for if there's disruptions periodically. We need to be doing this, folks, because the handwriting's on the wall. I think for most of us, we get it, but unfortunately, also because it's been going on for so long and getting kind of drug out, I think we get burned out a little bit on it. And we cannot allow ourselves to do that. We cannot allow ourselves to become complacent, you know, in all this, to kind of, you know, not care anymore, because it just needs to happen. We need to get ready and keep our head on a swivel, our eye on the ball, you know, powder dry, the whole thing, because it's coming at us, folks. Get your houses in order. Prepare yourselves mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.